for GLHF. We are seeing also switch in the team as GDMs are using Dance right now. That's instead of Pain, and Pedroot is making an appearance also instead of Elsit. So Elsit and Pain have been replaced by Pedroot and in Int, the teammate Dance, and the civilizations are for deities of death, that's Thor, that's a switch from the Odin. Of course, Thor is pretty good on water, or rather the best from Norse probably. For other players, Omega is Bas Zeus, Joe Isis, and for GDMs we are looking at Dance as Zeus, Pedroot is Kronos, and Zokyo Oranos. So probably some kind of shenanigans with the destructive powers of the Kronos. The construction is definitely gonna come into play in here as we are looking at Dance, who is on the flank and actually might be having a bit of a luck in here if he gets into the opponent's side fast enough, because we are waiting of course for the deconstruct to be cast as fast as possible, and it's already basically right now led on by Dance advancing as fast as possible to the front, and also by Zokyo, who is just looking who he could be telling his teammate to reconstruct, and it's really looking like that it might be the ISIS, but at the same time, usually it's better and more annoying on the Norse, or maybe it's also effective on the Greeks. On the Egyptians, well, it's usually not that much of a problem, because Egyptians usually can afford a lot of docks in the start, so they often are building a second dock right off the bat, so usually not the greatest of ideas to actually deconstruct an ISIS, for example, that we have seen a bit before there, as we are looking of course at the piggies in here, as Omega X Blast is going to be playing the pocket as a Zeus player. That, I think, is a pretty good advantage for them. Who is the pocket on the other side? Kronos. Yeah, well, Kronos is of course an aggressive god, so you would like him on a flank to harass the opponents, but at the same time, if he's in the pocket, he could be playing something like Nyan likes to do, and that is transporting behind enemy lines. And if GDMs actually play this correctly, it might be really working quite fine, because for Nyan it definitely does work really fine. He's really good with that once he does it. In the meantime, we are looking at pretty interesting placement of the dock for Pedroot. Unfortunately, this is not really the best. It would have been better in the furthest line into the sea, not only because of the fishies that are there, but because right now he's of course having nothing on the right. He's just basically cutting himself off from fishies, from one side of the fishies. And here we go with the reconstruction that is being cast exactly on the north. And well, the second dock is already going to be coming down as soon as possible. Well, already, unfortunately, what is right now not that great is that the fishing boats are already out, and even though at least one of them right now needs to return home, the second probably will be in it quite soon as well. It's not that tragic, because he still can get there with at least the one at the top, and the loss is not going to be that bad. So usually you want to deconstruct as fast as possible, so that your opponent doesn't even have the time to put out the fishing boats. And he already has even those at the bottom, which are still gathering, so yeah, this is not really going to be such a huge delay. And with the second dock already being built, and just to make sure, because he's right now basically thinking that the other deconstructs are coming his way also, he is going to be just safe, and the construction is probably not going to be that game-changing. Nicely placed dock for Zokyo, of course, as he is an experienced player, so he knows where to build this dock. Whereas for Yellow, I kinda hope that was the first dock. Yeah. Man, it's almost looking like the actually GDMs are having a competition who is gonna place a worse dock on their home map. Nonetheless, we're expecting that they are going to be used to it. If I remember correctly, actually GDMs play this map quite often as the home map. And well, this is a bit of a surprise to me, because of course this makes even less sense than what Pedroot did. Just needed it literally in here. It would have been basically the same advantage, and he's having all the extra fishies in there. But right now he's just having like 2 years for the fishing boats to go back and get back food, so he should be, I think, be noticeable in his advanced times. It's not really ideal at all. Yeah, you can already right now see the problem for him. He's at 4 minutes and he's still not advancing, and this might not be really just because of it. It is almost looking like that it's actually because of a different build order, but still might have been some kind of result of him thinking that due to the inefficiency it's not going to work alright as what he was doing, and went for a bit more villagers in there. So of course he should be advancing just now basically everybody in here. Yes, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everybody is advancing through, and let's check how fast they are gonna be. Anubis for Isis, alright. That's a new one. or rather uncommon one, not really new, but uncommon one. Then we have just advanced through Athena at 4:30, that's a standard time. Quite slow advance for Chaos, but mustn't forget he was deconstructed. Probably gonna be again. But he shouldn't be, of course. He should be deconstructing Temple. And let's see if he places correctly. He definitely should be deconstructing Temple right now. If he does have the construction already. Unfortunately not. Fortunately it's still not available. Because Chaos is advancing really quite late. So there could still be an opportunity for like the next 20 seconds. Rather a few seconds, I don't know, 15 seconds or some such, to reconstruct it still. And it doesn't seem like he's going to be in time, so that's slightly unfortunate for him. And of course, with the fastest advance from Omega X Blast being in, it seems that this attempt to even take down the dog might not be all that successful, because of course Omega X Blast was paying attention and is arriving not only with Jason, but with the Minotaur as well. So yeah, unfortunately both Prometheans are gonna die. That's actually not a bad bolt if it was cast a bit earlier, but still pretty decent. And he's hoping that with those Prometheans he could be taking it out, but at this point, yeah, it's kind of fool's task, fool's errand, and he will have to make a lot more attempts on the water to actually win in this battle. In the meantime, Green is doing a pretty good job at the top because he was advancing slightly faster than I Am Joe apparently. And also there's the fact that Omega X Blast is helping full time at the bottom. His teammate Chaos, who is advancing quite late, rather was advancing quite late, but still it seems like that Zokyo might not be strong enough because of course the Egyptians, they are the bane of waters and they are so far proving exactly that. The construction, yeah, well, that's, I don't understand this much, even though like it makes sense because he wants to at least slow down the building production of the boats. Why would you deconstruct the one that was almost full health, or rather almost dead? Be just constructing the full health, it would be much better for the long run because you could potentially take it down easier than almost the dog through some kind of aggression through the land. But well, that is the decision making so far, and Plague of Serpents is right now being employed. Exactly, that's the reason why Anubis was played right next to Pedro, or rather Zokyo, and that's a pretty clever idea because it will mean that the green player cannot really all that run back to his own base. Actually could have been cast slightly better right on top of them, basically denying any kind of defense in there, and that's basically a game winning, rather water winning, good power if you use it that way, because it will mean they are pretty strong. It's like, I don't know, 6-7 fishies, or rather both these extras, and of course no safe room. Sorry, for Zokyo to retreat back to, and that always counts quite strongly. So, in the meantime, it seems like the Zokyo is doing a good job in the defense so far. Whereas at the bottom the battle is more or less equalish, as right now Restoration is coming in for Omega X Blast, a bit of kiting attempted, and Restoration is coming from the opponents as well. So that's these two good powers being gone for the remainder of the game. Well, yeah, this is basically just the strength of the Norse boats coming through. Because they are, of course, having the higher attack at 7, whereas all the other boats are, well, BRMS already at 5, whereas 3RMS are at 6. So yeah, this is pretty strong duo right now, with Omega X Blast and Chaos kinda aiming for victory on the water so far, and they are doing a pretty good job at that. There's been research for Chaos, so not any kind of advances yet. We are at 8 minutes, so potentially some Egyptians might be thinking about the next stage. Well, some Egyptians. There is actually one, right? Yes, just joke. Could have been him, some kind of idea. But so far he's fully engaged in the water battle, as this is seeming like going quite alright. But they should be a bit more careful because the boats are kinda getting half dead. But same could be said about the opponents, so yeah, not really that much of a difference in there. What is definitely true though, that they are slowly but surely running out of place to run, and that is something that Deities of Death will want to do and continue with. In the meantime, Zokyo is still having a pretty good fight against I Am Joe, which definitely speaks to a pretty good gameplay, because Uranoses are usually not that strong on the water, but at this stage we are at 9 minutes, you could be really expecting that the Egyptian would be already reaching at least for the Heroic Age, but he is instead going for the second TC, which is not a bad idea at all, as of course that will help him boom a bit better, and potentially be better prepared for some rather faster near heroic from Zokyo, who is already going for the farms, so expecting that the water might be getting lost sometime soon. Well, this is definitely correct decision, I have to say, from Zokyo. as the water at the bottom was looking all kinds of curious. And even though I would think it wasn't that lost for GDMs, this sudden triple will most definitely put Chaos and Omega X Blast into fleeing mode, and it will definitely require Joe to do something else than just sit there. That's not good. Kind of lack of communication on Deities of Death part. Just now reacting quite late, as he said, because you can see that Green will have enough time to even get back home from dealing the damage. So, oh well. That was a bit of a blunder right now by Deities of Death, as he is yet again not in a great situation anymore, and he will have to retreat back to his home base. But in the end, it's not such a crucial mistake, because he still does have enough boats, and he is retreating exactly as he should be. In the meantime, second TCs are being picked up over the map. I'm right now looking at the red player, who's attempting to go for it. For the opponent, it's blue actually at 3 already. So somebody's booming hard, and well, second is right now at the top, and Joe is going for prosperity, which would be signaling that heroic age will be coming soon for him as well. Where is the Pharaoh? Actually somewhere in the front probably. Doing a lot of gold mines all over the map, going for the barracks, so he wants to be prepared for his opponent, who is going for the front TC also, already gathering some army from double counter barracks. No military barracks yet, so just few turmas. And with the wall-in already finished, yeah, those guys are not coming through like at all. The water battle on the left is still more or less equalish right now. Not really in the advantage of Deities of Death anymore, because of the very nice triple by Zokyo. And well, he's going to be up to proper micro, which seems to be definitely on DoD side, because this kiting attempt is working quite fine. You could have seen just all the yellow boats going after it, not doing any damage, but being dealt damage too. Quite fine. So battle still not going anywhere, fighting right next to Tokyo, which in itself is already an advantage for Deities of Death, because of course it means that Green is having like literally 2 fishing boats, whereas Joe is having a ton of them, about 12 if I count this correctly. Yeah, the advantage is for him in there to be taken, and seems to be exactly what is going through his head. Bit of attempted raiding on the land already, as we are probably switching into the land aggression in here, as the water seems to be more or less kinda reaching the later stage. We are at 12 minutes, quite a long fight in the classical age, with nobody really being in the heroic, so I'm kinda hoping that somebody already is going, but no, they are, like in this fight. So this is almost like a vanilla age of mythology, where it was kinda usual to fight in the heroic or other classical ages for as long as possible. Oh, this is a bit of an old school style edit right here, especially with the Norse in there. Yeah, quite inevitably running into the trap. But is it actually a trap? Because of course the military buildings of the opponents are quite nearby, and I don't really see any kind of reinforcements from Omega X Plus, and it almost seems like he has actually given up on the water. Most certainly has. Most certainly has. He is building right now just again a few boats, but that's not really enough at all. He does have Pursein for the fishing boats for better economy, but otherwise, yeah, it's just basically Joe paying attention to his army, and that's it. Whereas Chaos is joining fully on left to basically thwart the aggression of Pedrut. With Omega X Blast not really fighting fully on the water, I would be thinking that maybe some kind of advance into Mythic might be on his mind just now. Having already pretty decent echo, it seems like, with Hyperion being the first, yes, the first heroic age in the game, and we should be right now really seeing some heroic ages, because if not, that would be kinda weird, but yes, Chaos is coming in, and that will be exactly a very important player, because Pedrut will probably be forced to join on the left to basically help him defend. Lily's coming for the back TC, it seems like. For Dance, it's going to be 30 TC, the same as for Pedrut, and everybody else is basically at 3 as well, just Omega X Blast is at 2. And how is he actually at 2? Has actually somebody stolen a TC from him, some of his allies. There's a bit of raiding right now by Green, right next to Purple. And it's almost looking like that Blue might have. Yes, Blue definitely did steal his TC. This was actually back TC for Omega X Blast. A lot of idols in here, basically finishing, I don't know, with Hunt probably. But this is not good news. It's not good news because I'm fairly certain that they would like the Zeus to be at 3 TCs rather than the Norse. Even though Chaos has played quite nicely the last game, and you can expect basically the same from him in this game as well. You do want the Zeus to be the one basically taking you along in the game. Well, it's in here. So yep, I'm kinda curious how the Deities of Death are going to be basically making up for that kind of gameplay. Because of course there's no extra free TC, you would have to take this one. Which is like right now, absolutely in the power of GDMs. So I'm not exactly certain how this is gonna work. And this could be also a problem for another reason, because if he wants to attempt something like in the last game, the Underworld Passage with surprise to the back of the enemy bases, he right now doesn't have the population limit for that. He just doesn't have the pop limit for all the army that he will need. He doesn't even have, of course, restoration. So yep, that's that. That's that, and that might not really work all that well. Market being right now at least delayed, not really stopped, but delayed, as of course IMJU should be quite fine to defend against this. Whereas in his front he has been breached through, and Migdol has been attentive to rebuild, but unfortunately not really fast enough, as Zokyo was quite well prepared. And yep, right now that's goodbye 400 gold. That's goodbye, quite a lot of gold, not good. Right now he has to spend a whole lot more. So Palace and next to the DC seems to be quite alright. Second Palace in there to basically establish themselves in that part of the map. Whereas on the left, GDM guns with Pedroot are quite inevitably moving forward. And basically the game for Chaos is kind of slightly falling apart. Slightly falling apart, even though he does have some kind of army going for the market. He, of course, is going to be probably going for some fast Ragnarok yet again, or rather fast. We are at 16 minutes, it's no fast Ragnarok, it's normal Ragnarok, let's face it. And he doesn't probably have all that many upgrades, just copper shields. Maybe something else is going to be researched pretty soon. Let's check. Yes, heavy infantry, copper weapons. For Omega X blasts, all for the economy. Osiris for Joe. Hecate for Zokyo. Oh, that might be important. And, well, kinda curious forest fire right now. By Chaos. It did some damage to a few of the units, but I'm not exactly thinking that it did as much as you would have hoped to. Rather 4. But it is kinda tricky for us, because it's probably gonna go all the way to the bottom. Is he catching this tree? Is it gonna jump? Yes, it does. Okay, so in this case, it actually jumped the tree in here. It's probably gonna run all around, which will open the TC wide open. And then, with Ragnarok, Chaos might be have a pretty good chance of taking it down. X Blast trying to establish himself to help his teammate against the double. But yet again, this attack from GDMs is quite strong and doing quite alright. Whereas on the water, there is a bit of a comeback from GDMs, or comeback. It's not like it was all that decided when we left it a few minutes ago, and the siege boats are of course going to be wrecking all those arrow boats. So yeah, that it's going to be a pretty hard time on the water to stay with the economy for those players in the jerseys of Deities of Death. Well, in the meantime, at the top, Joe seems to be basically right now saving the situation, as even though he was in a pretty tough situation, pretty tough moment against Zokyo, he is right now pushing forward. Dance has taken the front PC from Chaos, and Son of Osiris is in, and that will of course not help any kind of effort of Zokyo at any kind of potential defense. Okay, so that's the Tartarian Gate in pretty good spot, not only next to the TC and food economy of Omega X Blast, it's also right next to the trade route, which is gonna get quite harassed in here, and this will definitely require some significant attention. It wasn't for the fact that they need to pull all the attention to this TC, the front one of Chaos, because of course he's under pretty heavy pressure, and those medium destroyers with baseline of upgrades are doing pretty decent damage, also with the satyrs. Yep, medium toxots in here with no upgrades, whereas we are looking at army from Teal. Medium toxots, no upgrades yet. Hoplits, of course, just medium without anything also. And where is the blue army? Kinda nowhere. And I'm missing just the blue army still. He's having Ursarks with pretty decent economy in here, or rather upgrades. He's basically really just waiting for the Ragnarok, but he is in the meantime losing the town center. He is being dropped to just 2. Right now calling the Ragnarok, and is it going to be a win condition or not? Well, we'll see pretty soon, because on the right, Zokyo is right now finding himself at the shorter end of the stick, as Joe is most definitely winning his side, like quite commandingly taking a 4 TC And that's much more important than anything else, because that will be possible mercenary spend for him. Tokyo already in full heavy defense. With Heroes of Ragnarok right now getting rid of the pretty pesky Tartarian Gate. Whereas in the front, it seems like that also Chaos is gonna do a pretty good job, and unfortunately, oh, this might be looking like a drop. That would suck. Please continue. Let's continue exactly like this. And yeah, Heroes of Ragnarok from Odin, or rather Thor this time around. Odin was in the last game, are going to be coming forward and attempting to steal the DC back for themselves. Already pretty heavy battle with heavy archive and baseline of upgrades still for Pedro, whereas Yellow Dance is basically just one upgrade under no passage from Dance, and it is coming to where? Where are we going to be seeing the units? Here at the back, so that's going to be coming for the economy and for the backbone of the opponent's army. But is there going to be something extra? Because of course flamey weapons are going to be absolutely wrecking the left side of the map, and since this underworld passage is going from right here, why would you go from here? It just doesn't make any kind of sense. And at any rate, Mega X Blast is casting his own underworld passage. I have no idea from where. Oh, here. From here, so that he can actually help himself at the back. But I kind of think it might be a bit of an overreaction, because there's absolutely no army from Dance. No army at all, and this really could be basically just taken down by Chaos's army in the front, because the flamey weapons will be making short process of all these buildings, countering, or rather counting in, fortified DC and the underworld passage. In the meantime, Tokyo on the right, as we have seen, was just basically steamrolled by already 40 and Joe, and he has already resigned. His teammates are just going to be following, so this was very well played, as even though at one moment GDM seemed to be aiming for the victory, not only on the right, there was a pretty good push by Zokyo at the correct time against Joe, but Joe was able to hold on, and on the left the push also was brought to stop by very timely Ragnarok with pretty upgrades, and of course, flaming weapons. Flaming weapons. Yeah. Oh my guys, but just now complaining, where is his third? This is your third. A bit tricky spawn, but yeah, Chaos definitely did steal your town center. Unlucky. But in the end it worked quite alright for the Teeth of Death. Let's check the post game in the end. Before that, who actually won the water in the end? Yeah, not much anybody. More like GDMs. But it didn't really matter because the teams weren't really in water range on this spawn. Tokyo unhappy about how he was steamrolled in the end. Yeah, well, it was quite nicely played by Joe. Quite nicely played indeed. Let's check the post game then. And we are looking at Chaos, who is having the highest score, which was basically because of this fastest boom of the extra town centers. But otherwise, who did I like who played the best? Well, Joe's comeback basically. Well, if it could be called comeback. Something like at least a quarter of a comeback, that was nicely played. But the left side by Pedrut and Dance, I like that. They played well. Without the Ragnarok, that would have been a win for them. But Joe, pretty good echo, of course. Pretty good indeed. Pedrut military count, unit skilled, not that great. Not that great. Whereas for Chaos, that was a whole lot better. But that's Ragnarok at the end, I guess. That's probably what was it, or rather what it was. That's the better English. Okay then, GG.